Here I'm cutting the legs at 34 inches long, and I'm going to be ripping them to 3.5 inches wide. And I'm cutting 8 of them. And you'll see why later on in the video. Now I'm cutting the Baltic birch plywood, and this is the carcass of the box. And I'm cutting them at 16 3/4 inches wide. And I'll be cutting 2 pieces of it. And I'm going to cut the length that I need, and there's going to be 2 pieces at 42 inches and 2 pieces at 13 inches. Now I'm getting ready for assemble. So here I'm just going to drive some brad nails. And once I get everything all in place, I will drive some screws in later on. Now I'm cutting the bottom piece. We'll rip it down to the size I need. And I'm just going to shoot some brad nails. Then I'm going to pre-drill and drive some 1.25 inch screws all the way around. Here I'm going to cut a bevel on the leg, so I measured out at 2 1/4 on the bottom and up 3 inches. And I did it to all 8 legs. And all that is for appearance look. Now that I have them all cut, I am going to give a light sand with 220 grit sandpaper. I'm going to shoot the leg in with brad nails for now, and I am going to let it overhang 3/4 of an inch. Then I will drill some pilot holes and drive some 1.25" screws. I'm not worried about the screw holes. This is a painted unit. There is a face frame going over these legs, so it will be covered. And I will do this with all corners. This is the face frame that I glued and shooting it in with brad nails. And these are the other set of legs that I was mentioning earlier in the video. Now I'm cutting some 3-inch strips of pine, and this is going to be the face frame of the sides, front and back of the box. I am going to glue and pin these in with 1.5" brad nails. And I will do this all the way around. Now I'm using my divider to space out the 2 pieces I'm adding in the middle. Once I get it all divided, I will take a pencil and mark the top and bottom, pull them off, glue it, and put them back in place and nail it in with brad nails. And I will do this to the front and the back side. Now that this is done, I am going to put the armrests in. And I glued, and I'm going to drive some brad nails on the bottoms. Then I will drive 1.5" screws from underneath on the top side. Here I am, just going to level them off and drive some screws in. Now I'm going to put end caps on each end. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm putting a seat that lifts open. So I need to close off each end. I'm sticking it out 3/4 of an inch. And I glued and just going to brad pin them in place. Now I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip of 3/4 inch. I'm going to glue, pin, and screw this in place on the very back. This is basically the support for the seat and for the piano hinge that's going to be installed. Now I'm cutting the seat, and the seat is going to be at 15 inches wide by 37.5 long. Here I am installing it with the piano hinge. And it opens nicely. Now I'm going to cut some 2x6 pine, and this is going to be the backrest top and bottom rail. I'm cutting it at 37.5 inches long by 2¼ inches wide. Here I'm cutting the top rail. I put an arch on the top. You can put whatever profile you like. I put a slight arch at the top. I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger than the line. And then I'm going to sand it down to the line on the table sander. Here I am sanding it down to the line. I'm using the smaller spindle for the corners, and I will switch it to get the flats on the front and the back side of it. Now I'm cutting 4 supports for the top and bottom rail on the sides and the back. Sorry, it's 6 supports. Here I am just going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to brad it with some brad nails into place. And I'm using 1.5-inch brad nails for this. and I measured 2 inches back from each end and placed those in the center of them. And for the top and bottom rail for the back support, I'm just going to use some pocket hole screws, and then I'll plug them later. Here I'm cutting pine, and I'm cutting these strips at 2 inches thick or wide. And these are going to be the X's for the sides and the backrest. Now here I'm going to, I marked my bevels, I cut my bevels in already, and I'm going to hog out the center halfway down, and I'm going to do that on both pieces, and they're going to interlock like a puzzle. It's basically a half lap. And I will glue and pin these in place. And it's a perfect fit. And here I'm just test fitting it in place. And so far it looks good. Now I'm going to patch all the pinholes with wood filler. Once it's dry, I'll sand it down and it's ready for prime coat. While this is drying, I'm going to pin the X's in place with some brad nails. Now I'm going to put 1 coat of primer, followed by 2 coats of paint and 3 coats of pre-cat clear. For the pre-cat clear, I'll be using a Sherwin-Williams product, which is high build. Now that the primer coat is completed and dried, I am going to spray 2 coats of white. And I will wait an hour in between coats. For the 3-cat clear, I'm putting 3 coats and I'm waiting 15 minutes in between coats. Now that it's all sprayed and dried, here I am installing the seat to the piano hinge. And now I'm going to cushion the seat. Here I have a BALTIC birch plywood that is cut to 11 inches by 37.5. I'm going to sand down the edges, clean it up, and I'm going to cut my foam. And here I'm using a 1-inch foam. I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger than the plywood, glue it down, and then trim it off. Here I'm using a 3M product, and it is upholstery glue. And I'm putting 2 generous coats. Once it tacks up, I will press fit the foam on, and then trim the excess off. So the customer wanted a gray fabric, so here I'm using a pass load upholstery gun with 3/8 staples, and I will start in the middle and work my way in each direction, and as I get to the other side I will stretch it tight and staple all the way around, and then I will cut the excess fabric off. And then it's ready to be mounted on the bench. Now here I'm going to drive in 6 screws, and I'm using 1¼ screws to secure the cushion in place. Now that I have the cushion in place, I am going to put 3 coats of Scotch Guard, and I will wait 3 hours in between coats. And this is the finished product. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.